So hello and welcome to today's webinar, Creative Marketing and Staying Connected with Social Media. This webinar is part of a series brought to you by the University of California Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program, which is a program of the Division of Agriculture and Natural Resources. And this is a part of a webinar series that's entitled Agritourism and Direct Sales Best Practices in COVID Times and Beyond. So today we are joined by Elizabeth Larson, owner of Milk and Honey 1860, and Nicole Johansson, founder of the Sonoma Farm Trails. They will each speak about their experience using creative marketing and social media to promote their work. As we go on, please feel free to type any questions for Elizabeth and Nicole into the chat function, and we'll answer them at the end. And so first we're going to hear from Elizabeth Larson, who is the owner and operator of Milk and Honey 1860. Milk and Honey 1860 is a small family farm specializing in artisanal goat milk skin care products and wool from heritage English long wool sheep, and it's located in Butte County, California. Now, as Elizabeth is speaking, I'm going to show some images of her operation to give you some insight into her work. And these images are pulled from her social media account, so you will get to know her the way her customers who engage with her on social media do. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Elizabeth.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Larson, and we accidentally started this little farm by moving our family out to the country and needing goats to eat down the weeds for the fire danger that we have here in California. So we had 5 kids at that point. We have 6 now, and the business is run by myself and my children. My husband's a full-time contractor, so he's gone a lot. He helps us here when he can, but mostly it's just the kids and I. And so that's Amelia. She's milking there. She just started helping out. She just turned 10. But basically we bought these goats to start eating the weeds down. And I had always kind of made handmade Christmas presents for folks with the kids, because we always have homeschooled. And so we made goat milk soap because I had heard about it being a thing, but I don't know that I'd even ever tried it. And so we sold it gave it away, for Christmas presents that first year. And I told people, if the soap sucks, throw it away. Anyway, 5 years later, we find ourselves in a full-time business, and the farm just keeps growing. And we sell locally at a little shop downtown Chico called Made in Chico that is everything local. We sell at Mary Lake Thompson in Oroville, who has beautiful dish towels that are distributed nationwide, watercolor artist. A little store in San Francisco, in the Mission, and at Magnolia, which is our big success story. If you guys are familiar with Chip and Joanna Gaines, the Fixer Upper, they have the silos there with that huge retail location. And social media is why we actually got to them, and part of social media strategies. Social media has changed the world. There's still traditional retailers. The one that kept coming to mind that I follow is Ralph Lauren. That's clothes, not farming, but they're still doing traditional marketing. They're still photographing models in clothes. It's not personal. You don't see their families. You don't see what they're doing really. And that's fine. That's still working. The most they really show you is like sales or some kind of special event. What's new about social media is what we're seeing from influencers and from people like us who are absolutely, no one knows who we are. We're small beans, and we're in the middle of nowhere. You have to drive half an hour just to get to our place. So social media is how we have been able to even build a brand or build a business or have anyone find us. Because you can put up a .com and put up product and put it out there, but how do people find your .com? That's getting harder and harder to have people even locate you. I mean, Etsy used to be good for small producers, but that's even huge now. So this is the deal with the influencers. We all follow accounts where these folks are super personal. They may even show you their bedroom or their bathroom. You know who their kids are. You know what they're doing. It's real life. Or the whole TikTok thing where there's, it's dancing, right? But there's this connection, this personal connection. You have an opportunity to directly connect to people and build a clientele that you never would be able to. We started by like doing the farmers market and stuff and having some in-person connections. You have to have those things. But then if I'm not at the market every single week, connecting with those people, and how much are they going to really see about me? Well, they can go home and jump on Instagram or jump on Facebook and see my family. They can see this darling lamb that they're showing right now, the Leicester Longwool. They can see our house. They can see, like today I posted that we're all working in the garden. It creates this humanity and this personalized thing. And you can tell them whatever you want. That's the power of it. It's such a powerful tool. You are direct to that person. And then they can also share that. Like this darling little girl, that's Edelweiss there, but people can see like, oh, this is Butte Valley. This is where they live. Look, there's the real goats. Here's this sweet little girl. And actually this is a realtor's daughter who lives here in Butte Valley. And she started buying all of our gift crates. You can see some of them over there in the back. We load those with product, and she was giving them as her closing gifts. So there's marketing right there, direct marketing. But anyway, the point is, she took this gorgeous photo of her daughter and shared it on social media. And then I said, oh, may I please reshare that? And she said, of course. So now I'm sharing this picture of Adelaide through my account and saying, oh, here's a customer that was here. This is a real person, a real daughter who is here today, enjoying the goats and enjoying the sunshine and, connecting with the farm in real life. You say, I know that I've said that this is the only way we could have built this business is social media. And that I talked about connection, perception's reality. People are all going to always going to have different perceptions, but what's your brand feel? I mean, I guess I could show you guys the shop a little bit. Like, what's your brand feel? We bought an 1860s fixer upper, and everything's old. So our branding, like this is pure milk. Most people who want a goat milk product want something that's scented and pure. But this is that too blurry? But basically just kind of creating, this is all the marketing. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Is that consistent? Does it feel, real? Can you back up the quality also? But with my other business, my previous business, a woman who really encouraged me to do it and kept it in her shop said that people have to have emotional buy-in. They have to connect. And she said, how I used to buy things for Nordstrom's for the children's department was it gave me an emotional response, and then I bought it. And she said, your stuff gives me an emotional response, so you need to keep doing it. So what emotional response are you creating? Like, what vibe is on your stuff? What energy is on your stuff? And then does it all go together? Like, do my earrings and my dress match my little branding, match my whatever? I can show everybody this. And then on Saturday mornings, I can go, oh, good morning, the store's open. We're open from 10 to 6. In a way that never before we've been able to do. Or I can show people like, oh, here's our shampoo bars. They're kind of low right now. Or, oh, they're fresh in stock. You can say things immediately that you wouldn't be able to do that before. So I love that I can put a little post up or like the things we do with our wool. Like I was just knitting, but like we make these, we're part of Fiber Shed, which is a sustainable carbon stricken thing. And what do you say, program? It's an amazing program, but our wool is all transitional, climate beneficial. And so these fly like hotcakes. So, but I could say, oh, there's, these in stock. Okay, let me see. This is really weird that I'm talking to myself. So hopefully it's working okay. You have an opportunity to tell your story. There's a farm, like I mentioned, Ralph Lauren, it's still pretty sterile. It's not personal. There's a farm called Ballerina Farm. She's a Juilliard ballerina with 6 kids. And she has a huge, huge following. Her husband's a cattle rancher, and they sell their meat, I think, directly. You can just order from them. But she has a huge following, and she shows herself making bread every day. She shows doing her stretches every day. She shows cleaning her kids' bedrooms. She shows milking the cows every day. And so you can literally get on her account and watch 87 stories every single day of what she's doing the whole time. So it's up to you what you want to show people. There's not really a right or a wrong. I think there's so many different styles of ways to do things that are successful now. And you can learn from them. Look at the accounts that you like. What are they doing? What are they not doing? And you can change that. You just have to kind of keep morphing. I mean, I'm learning myself. We don't have a huge online following. I'm And what do you say? Social media wise, I'm not an expert at all. I'm just trying to figure it out like the rest of us. But what I've done is just be authentic. And when we were talking earlier, Rachel was like, so you're marketing to yourself. Yeah, this is my story. I wanted to do this. And it reminds me of, there's a show called Finding Your Roots. And I believe it was Angelica Houston. And she, who's a famous actress, right? She was saying that she knew that she wasn't ever going to be like the most beautiful. And so she needed to be really good and she needed to be authentic. And she said that what she thought is, you can manufacture all this stuff. You can try to be the best. You can try to do something that someone else thinks is great or perfect or whatever. But I thought it was this golden nugget that, it stuck out to me so much. And what she said is, I thought that if I did something that was interesting to me, that I loved, other people would find it maybe interesting too. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just been doing my thing. I was just a mom who wanted a homestead, and I made all these products that were clean. It's clean beauty for myself and for my kids. Well, that's a whole niche in itself. So I just share my story. I'm a mom. I made this, so for my kids, it's, natural, like whatever's authentic to you. What are you doing? What's your, what do you love? You're going to attract other people that are into that too. Now, there's also all kinds of ways to target audiences with hashtags. Sorry, my husband's texting me. All kinds of algorithms and hashtags and paid marketing. You can push your ads, all that stuff. I'm not really great at that. I probably should be better. But your photos, okay, practical. Let's do that. Practical things. You have to have good photos. Instagram, well, not all the time. There's big accounts that don't have great photos. That's something that I think is important because that's what I value. When I'm on Instagram, I want to see, beautiful things. I follow a lot of home and garden and things. Having those beautiful photos so that people are connecting with what it is. And then you have an opportunity to now share the information about that. Tagging locations, tagging other people, tagging your products, because then other people can share it and share it and share it. So customers, when they receive this, they'll tag us and I can share it again. That's a huge way to grow and for other people to see your product. That's Sophia at a farmer's market, that photo. We say, okay, let's get back to this. This is the most successful strategy and thing that has ever happened to me. A friend of mine, I hope I'm okay on time, Rachel. A friend of mine who lives in LA accidentally got into backstage hospitality for Hollywood and like the Oscars and Emmys and this kind of thing. And she was looking for product placement and for the Emmys. So she put our lotion and our soap all in the backstage of the Emmy green rooms and dressing rooms. Well, all those people are now taking that home, and all those people then now have an opportunity to gift it or, maybe people's mom, like I know Ben Stiller took it home. Maybe he gave it to his mom. I don't know. Maybe he threw it away. But what happened is this woman that we actually paid for marketing got product to Johnny Swim, who is the musician, husband and wife that are connected with Joanna and Chip Gaines. Well, Amanda Ramirez, the wife, put our soap and lotion on her on her Instagram story as like, this lotion's amazing. My skin's never felt this wonderful, whatever she said, since junior high, no joke. Well, Joanna Gaines saw her stories on there and said, I want to see that whole line. And now half of our sales are through Magnolia. That would have never happened without social media. So gifting influencers is huge. We'll have to be careful. Like this is where stuff gets really manipulative or fake, or, you're paying people for this kind of thing. But at the same time, it's just real. Like most of the stuff you see in magazines, people have paid for placement in there. So I don't know, hopefully some of that is helpful to you guys. But if there's influencers you can gift, it's a pretty big deal to have them circle back on sharing your stuff and bring you direct sales. Let me see if there's anything else that I forgot.
Elizabeth, you can have up to 5 more minutes if you want, but whenever you're ready, you can 5 more minutes or whenever.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Do you have any other things that I should speak about that I've forgotten?
Well, you were just speaking a little bit about influencers, and that's probably somewhat unfamiliar. So, I mean, why don't you elaborate on
Okay.
just how that works?
Okay. Influencers are people who have huge social media following on their accounts, like millions of people or 200,000 people. Amanda Ramirez, that I just spoke about, Johnny Swim, I think she has 200,000 followers just on her personal account. So when our woman who we now partner with for marketing gift something to Amanda Ramirez, what do you say? You gift someone who has the power to share it on their social media and reach an enormous audience quickly with one post. Like people you would never be able to show. I could never show my lotion to 200,000 people at a time, ever. Well, Amanda Ramirez putting this on her story, 200,000 people, or however many people looked at her story, saw our lotion. So one, it's a strategy of giving someone who has that kind of influence and that kind of following your product in hopes that they like it enough that they'll share it. And I know you can also just pay people to do that. I know you can. We have never done that. It has always been like authentic and genuine. If Amanda didn't like the lotion, she wouldn't have done it. And I've been really committed to, like, I only make this for me because I love it. So I don't want to do that. But is that a strategy? Absolutely. That's a strategy. Dove pays these people to say, I love this lotion. I'm your model, So I hope that clarifies it a little bit for you guys. You could do that with anything. I know I know someone who has a cauliflower pizza crust business, and they have someone full-time researching hashtags and reaching out to people who are fitness people or interested in weight or interested in health, that kind of thing, and saying, hey, can we gift you a cauliflower pizza? So if those people say yes, you send them a cauliflower pizza and that they can share that some more. What would be the other thing about? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not sure that I have anything else to say about it besides do your best. And we all need to keep learning because the world's changing so quickly. All this social media stuff is so viral and so quick that the world's never been like this before, where you get instant feedback from people, instant notifications from people. It's all live, it's all real time. And that makes it tricky also. We all have to be more connected and more sensitive and more aware than I think we've ever had to be with how quickly tones change or, whatever's going on. That's been another part of it too. And that it really creates, an ability for things to be way more interconnected than they ever have been. And that's a plus and a minus. Thank you guys so much for including me. I hope any of that was helpful to you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. That was really interesting. Oh, you know what? We just had a question come in that I'm going to ask you right now because it's a good question. And it's how often do you set aside time to take photos and create social media posts during your work week? Because I think that, sometimes the misunderstanding is social media is free. It's completely available, but that's not true. It's not free because it takes your time. So are you very strategic and thoughtful about how much time you're putting aside or what's your strategy for that?
Okay. That's a great question. Social media can be a rabbit hole, as we all know. We can end up spending way too much time in it. My strategy is that I have an iPhone that takes good photos. I used to have use professional cameras, right? Film cameras, and even a digital one that was professional, really nice Canon. But you have to kind of go, okay, we're going to take photos and make a plan. And that's a great idea. You should do that. You can do that. But with my life, especially with a farm, and well, I'm talking to farmers, right? Okay. We lambed like, I don't even know, all those ewes, kidded all those does, like you're running in and out of the barn. Real life things are happening. So I have an iPhone that has a good camera, and I find that the quality of the photos is sufficient. You don't need to have everything be professional photos either. And when I feel inspired by something, I snap a photo real quick. Or like brand new babies were born in the barn, I take a video real quick and I just upload it right then and go, oh, look, here's some new babies. Or I at least capture different photos that I can use later. And I do it on my downtime. I do it on my off time. When I wake up in the morning and I'm having some coffee before my kids are awake, I post for the day. And I usually just post once. Often I won't post for a whole week. And so you have to think about that too. How much content do people want to see? Do they not want to see? Some people want to see everything you're doing. And some people are going to unfollow you if you post 3 things in one day. They don't want to see that much from you. So all of that, again, it's all kind of organic. It's a feel. And you've got to do, there's really any rules. I mean, if you look online, there's people doing all sorts of very different things, and they're very successful in their own right. I mean, I have a friend, my sheep share, he posts, photos of all the rats that his dogs caught all the time. Well, people want to see that. There's boys who want to see other boys catching rats with dogs, So, and they're probably not going to look at my pretty lotion, but it does take time, especially with country internet speeds. I'm sure many of you out there understand that. Sometimes it's really frustrating. It takes me a really long time to upload stories because it takes so dang long to load, and I have to go back and mess with it and blah, blah, blah. So is it expensive time-wise to do social media? It is, but you have to think of it as you're paying for marketing, so with your own time. So, and you can pay someone else full time to do your social media. You don't have to do it yourself. But I just find that if there's something that I like, or I think, okay, well, I haven't shared on, this lotion in a while or whatever, I'll just go ahead and do it. So sometimes I feel inspired and I think, oh, I really want to show this. It's so cute, or I love this photo, or this thing just happened. And sometimes it's just work. I just say, I look at my grid on Instagram of the photos that I've shared. And sometimes it's based on, I should have something that's black and white, or I should show a sheep again. I haven't done that in a while. Or when was the last time I showed soap? And then I just choose something and I put it up, and I don't even make a big caption about it sometimes. Or today I posted some lambs that my kids were holding in a photo I took like 2 weeks ago, but I needed to post something, put the cute lamb photo up there, and they're black and white lambs. So I did like a white heart and a little sheep and a black heart and just said, "Tease, what are you lambs?" And then underneath that, I make a separate comment, and I do hashtag Teeswater, hashtag lambs, hashtag rare breeds, hashtag livestock conservancy, whatever like that. So that anyone who follows those tags, that lamb photo will come up in their feed. And I also will tag the livestock conservancy in that photo with their @livestock conservancy, so that their account gets notified that that's there. Because anyone who's following them, if they choose to share that, maybe my photo will end up on their feed.
Yeah, that's really valuable impact about the utilization of the hashtags. Okay, well, you know what? As other questions come in that are specific for you, we can ask them at the end. I think for right now, we're going to turn to Nicole. Thank you again, Elizabeth. Hang tight, because I'm sure we'll have more questions for you, but we really appreciate your time. Okay, so
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now I'm going to turn to Nicole Johansson, founder of Sierra Oro Farm Trail. The Sierra Oro Farm Trail is a nonprofit association of farmers and business people in Butte County with a shared passion for agriculture and community. And so Nicole has been doing fantastic marketing, and she had to get very, very creative last year and into this year with some of the challenges that COVID handed all of us. So she is going to talk all about her pivot strategy, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. Nicole, welcome.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. And Elizabeth, thanks for joining me today. So the Sierra Oro Farm Trail, for those of you who don't know, is a farm trail. It was one of the first farm trails in California. Prior to 2004, it was mostly wine trails. And my husband and I opened an olive oil tasting room in Oroville and thought, how are we going to get people to come to Oroville? Period. How are we going to get people to come to Oroville to taste olive oil? And we didn't have any wine or chocolate. So we thought, well, let's get together with those neighbors of ours who do have those things. And thus was born the Sierra Oil Farm Trail. And now here we are 17 years later, still running our farm trail. It started out as a map, a printed map that people could use to map themselves around the county and try the different. We have a very diverse agricultural area here. There's a lot of specialty products grown here. So it was really a diverse array of things that you could try. And now it's gone to an online map with an online tour, with an online ticket to an online passport weekend, which of course, all of that last year with the pandemic wasn't able to take place. So rather than just roll over, we decided that we were going to pivot. And if people couldn't come to Butte County to try our products, we were going to send the products home to your doorstep. And thus was born our tasting box strategy. So I can share my screen. We are, just a moment. Hold up, I'm gonna get to my present mode. So SOFT stands for Sierra Oil Farm Trail. Porter Co. is an ad agency out of Sacramento that is a partner with us and has been a partner with us. They've helped us as we've grown to develop our brand. We have a YouTube channel. We have a ton of video. We have been fairly active on Facebook, Instagram. Twitter's hard because it rolls so fast. And if you're not a Kardashian, it just doesn't seem like anyone cares what you have to say on Twitter if you're not CNN. So we don't do as much on Twitter. We do use it to pitch our local media when we have things happening. So it all started out last year when I said, I have an idea. And that was getting the boxes to people's doorsteps. Right around the same time that happened, Sierra Nevada Brewery contacted us. And that's like our largest flagship property that we have in Butte County is the brewery. And they said, hey, we want to brew a Sierra Oil Farm Trail beer. And we want to work with all the farmers on the farm trail. And we want to make something very special. And we want to put it in the boxes. And so we were extremely blessed with this amazing gift from Sierra Nevada. They worked with Chico State. They worked with, and they put peaches from the Chico State Farm. They put almonds from Macy Jane's Almond Company. They used their own estate grown hops and barley. And they bought rice syrup from Lundberg Family Farms. And everything that's in this beer was grown within 15 miles of the brewery. They said it's something that worldwide only a handful of beer makers would ever be able to create. So we were very excited to have this partnership with Sierra Nevada. So these just show you some of our marketing goals. Transitioning from the passport weekend into a virtual experience, we did shoot an entire virtual tasting, and we shot it in a very intimate spot in a barrel room because the Sierra Nevada Brewery is closed. So we went to the place where they store all the beer, their barrel room, and we shot a video with all of the farmers about what it meant to be part of this special beer and part of our special box. One of the things we did have to do was change our website because we didn't sell anything through our website previously. It was just a map, and the tickets were sold through Eventbrite. So we bought, through a farm on the farm trail, the Sonoma family, we bought a Shopify landing page. So I recommend to anybody who has a store to look at Shopify. It's a great product. It's a great way to sell online. It's a great shopping cart and a really good and inexpensive way to start selling your products online. So that's what we did for our boxes. And if you go to sierraor.org right now, it's completely masked with a Shopify site. We were going to do a lot of new creative. We had some money in the bank. We weren't having a farm trail weekend. So we said, let's put our money into marketing. Let's develop some beautiful assets. We leveraged our partnerships. When I initially started this, we have always been on Passport Weekend, the same as a Chico State Parent and Alumni Weekend, because when we initially began in 2004, we thought, wow, people are coming to town because it's Parent Weekend. Let's see if the university wants to help us. And they always have. And this year they said, we don't have an Alumni Parent Weekend. All of our things are virtual. We want to sell boxes to people. And we're going to give you all of our online web platforms so that you can broadcast your virtual tasting at no cost to the farm trail, to anyone from Chico State who wants to view it, and anyone from the public who wants to view it. So they have been an extremely gracious advocate for the farm trail and partner for us. We bought display advertising, paid social, video and pre-roll, Facebook advertising that also included Instagram, television commercials here locally, and then we ran a lot of promotional things that included our partners and thanked them. There is a difference when you look at Facebook ads versus organic Facebook traffic. And what Elizabeth was talking about is organic Facebook marketing or Instagram marketing, where you're pushing content out. If you purchase the ads, you can purchase audiences, and those ads will run continually based on whatever budget you set. So you could say, I want these ads to reach people who are 35 to 54 that live in these zip codes, that like these things. And I want them to run for this length of time. And I'm going to say, I have $100 a week. And when that $100 is gone, it's gone. And you can really start to see who's seeing your product. If that's $100 is not enough, if the $100 is too much or too little, you can really start to see who your audience is connecting with or who's connecting with your product. So we did an email. We have a database of like 10,000 names. So we sent out a bunch of emails, and the biggest email we had was titled "Want More Beer," and 52% of the recipients opened it. And as a result from these emails, we got a lot of orders for our boxes. This is the tasting sheet that was inserted into the box. It was a fold 11 by 17. So once you opened it, you could see all the items that were in the boxes. These are some of the samples of the ads that we're running. And this is a band that went around the outside of the box, so that when it arrived on your doorstep, it was branded. These are some of the creative messages that we did. This is actually the homepage of our website. So you can see how we built the website in Shopify, but we branded it to the boxes. So here are some results and learnings. Sorry, I don't know why that keeps skipping. So the Shopify report shows that our 2020 campaign was the primary source of sale for 89 orders valued at $12,000. That means 89 purchasers clicked on a 2020 campaign to visit the Shopify site and made a purchase. The revenue influenced by the campaign is valued at $62,880. That means somebody saw an ad somewhere and they didn't click on the ad directly, but they could have gone directly to our website and made a purchase. They got there somehow. And that's the hard thing in digital marketing, is like, if they didn't click on it, they still could have bought it. There's just like multiple ways around the proverbial mousetrap. We also ran some retargeting so that the person would see the ad frequently. If you didn't click it on the first time, it would retarget you and you would see it again and again. Sometimes you might see that ads are following you, and that's what we did. The people who bought our boxes, and this is the audience that we purchased: cooking enthusiasts who are looking for recipes and ideas, people who like to read books and magazines for information, online shoppers looking for deals. Many people had pets. They were family focused, considered outdoor enthusiasts. They cared about low processed food, organic, clean living, gravitate to the farm to table movement, natural, low processed organic food. 72% of the purchasers were women, and the age range was 55 plus. So we did buy some YouTube. It wasn't as successful for us. So we shifted all that money back into Facebook and Instagram because it was going gangbusters on Facebook and Instagram. This coming year, we're talking about how do we do a VIP campaign so that we can help people to stay engaged with us for future. And we were just talking about how do we shift the budget at the end. You'll see here on some of the results about shifting to a higher converting channel, and I'll talk about that a little more. So we invested $10,000 in digital media. 62,000 of revenue was influenced by our digital media spend, with a 606% return on investment for the advertising dollars we put in. It's sort of like Elizabeth said, that she banked on that influencer and it returned in spades. Sometimes you've just hit, sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's strategy. And in this case, it was a little bit of both. Our emails, $10,000 on the email. Oh, this is our email campaign. Paid media display. These are the display ads that we ran. And you can see exactly how many people clicked on each of the ads and how many, like this was our best performing ad here on the left. This one was 600,000 impressions and 299 clicks. We had 8,000 people, $8,000 in an abandoned cart, meaning someone put the box in their cart, but they didn't actually purchase it. People bought the beer directly from Sierra Nevada. And these are the beer purchaser ads. Overall, the CTR stands for click-through rate. And the average click-through rate is like a 0.05. That's industry standard. It's sort of like how many people in the old days used to actually call you from your Yellow Page ad. A click-through rate is very similar in the digital world of how many people are actually viewing your ad. So you can see, again, this is top of the funnel. This is when we launched the campaign. It was new, top of funnel. We did a top of funnel video ad here. And then here a top of, this was a 30-second and a 15-second video. So you can see the static ad perform the best for us. This is the middle of the funnel, middle of the campaign. This is just your workhorse going during the campaign. And we had like 3 months to sell these boxes. And again, you can see this middle of the funnel with the wine glasses clinking was our best performing. And bottom of the funnel was hurry. You don't want to miss, limited supply, order today, don't miss out. And these influenced another $10,000 worth of purchases at the end of the campaign. This is our commercial, and I'll show it if that's okay with you, Rachel. Do you think everyone can hear? Should I turn this, should I do the ad? This is an ad that ran on television. It also ran on YouTube, and it ran in our social ads where we had video opportunity. So let's see if I can.
Yeah, let's give it a play.
Experience the Sierra Oro Farm Trail with delicious tasting boxes delivered to your door. 3 box choices are filled with handcrafted foods, premium wines, and limited releases. Be the first to sample the signature release of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company's Farm Trail Harvest Baltic Porter and Lundberg Family Farms' new organic rice cake minis. Boxes will arrive in time for a virtual tasting and toasting celebration on October 10th. Quantities are limited. Order yours today at sierraoro.org.
All right, so that was our ad. Get back to my presentation. Are you guys still seeing my screen share?
Yes.
Yeah, where did my presentation go? Hold on, sorry, just a second. Let me get back to I clicked out of my presentation and now it disappeared. Just a sec. There we go. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties, just a moment. Could you see that? Could you see my screen? Are we back on?
We're just back to you. You're not sharing your screen any longer.
Here we are.
Oh, there it goes.
There it is. Okay. All right, so that was our television commercial. These were some of our ads that we ran with our local media partner. Another partner that's been very invested in the Farm Trail since the get-go is our local channel 12 and 24, Action News Now. And they ran 367 bonus advertisements for us. Our ads, there was again a little bit of luck in this whole situation because we pushed some takeover ads on the Action News Now website, and they just happened to be running on the same day that the North Conflicts fire broke out in Butte County. And so everyone was tuned into the news because they were trying to figure out about evacuations and where the fire was running. Anyway, we were laughing about 99 bottles of beer on the wall because we sold 99 boxes in one day. And that was the day that the fire broke out, and it was all clicks that came into our sales channel through Action News. They're a phenomenal partner. If you have a local television station that wants to work with you, they're great partners, and video tells a story very well. It's more expensive to use video, but if the station is willing to invest in telling your story, it's highly worth it. So overall, we paid for 296,000 impressions and 931 total clicks. They did 3 stories about us and added links on the homepage. And overall, it was just a fantastic campaign. All right, so I have one. How am I doing on time?
You're doing great. You can talk for a little longer if you wanted to wrap up.
I have some actual sales results that I can share.
Okay, great, sure.
All right, so you guys can see this one, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Still? Okay. All right, so let's see. Can I open it? Is it going? Let's do this. Sorry for the technical difficulties. All right, so in summary, 732 customers in the fall. This was just the fall box. We followed this because of the success with the holiday box, and right now we're offering a Mother's Day and a graduation box. So all in all, the boxes have been a huge success story for our local farms. In the fall, we sold 911 boxes. Of those, 494 of the customers were Chico State alumni. 648 boxes went to 87 cities in California. 29 boxes ordered from California shipped to 12 other states. 20 boxes ordered from other states shipped to other states. So people in other states were sending them to friends and family, and they went as far as Florida, Maryland, and Massachusetts. We had a total sales in the fall of $125,000 in box sales. The majority of that money was used to reimburse everybody we bought product from. We paid the farms. We bought all the products wholesale from all of the farms. And at the end of the day, the Sonry family gave a $40,000 check to the Farm Trail as a donation from the efforts that went into the boxes. This just shows those farmers that were part of our virtual video release that ran on Chico State's webinar platform. This is the guy from Sierra Nevada. This guy here is Ken Grossman. He's the president of Sierra Nevada, the owner. We ended up going with a holiday box. Throughout the holidays, we sold 4,000 bottles of local wine. And this is a picture of what the box looks like when it comes to your house, the different things that were in the holiday box. We also did a food and beverage box. We did beverage boxes that you could just buy the beer. We did cases of wine. If you wanted to buy wine, you could buy a 6-pack of red, a 6-pack of white, or 12 of the local wines. So in general, it was a tremendous effort to try and get people's products out in the hands of consumers in a year where everyone had been devastated. The wineries were closed. There wasn't a lot of in-person anything going on, and this was a way to get product to people. We ran a Mad for Plaid contest. These farmers are traditionally known for their plaid shirts. And so we took it a step further and said, show us your plaid, and utilize these 4 guys, 3 brothers and their dad, the Sonrys. all of them showing up for an interview, all of them wearing a different plaid shirt. And we ended up with like baby pictures and checked like buffalo plaid and hunting plaid and Christmas plaid, and people sending their photos into Action News of their families and their plaid. In terms of emotional connection, the campaign really connected with the hearts and minds of the people that we were attracting. These are some of the winners of our little photo contest that we did over the holidays.
Nicole, we can't see the slides that you're showing anymore. We see a screen, but it's kind of frozen on, we don't see what you're clicking to.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop it. Can you see it now?
Oh, there we go. Yep. Lots of plaid.
Yeah, those are the kids. Those are all the photos people submitted for the NAPR Plaid Contest. And so that's the presentation. We definitely focus on Meet the Farmer strategy. So everything that we're doing is about meeting the farmer. It's about creating an emotional connection to the brand for the farms that participate in the farm trail. Like Elizabeth said, it's about being authentic and transparent and sharing your story. And that's what we strive to do. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see some of our farmer profiles. And those are stories of real life farmers. People come here and they think, you know, you go to Napa, you might taste really amazing wine, but there's probably not a highly good chance that you're going to meet someone from the Mondavi family. You come to Butte County and you're going to meet the winemaker. You might even get invited back into the barrel room for a barrel tasting. You're going to meet the people who produce the products, and there will be an emotional connection to those brands. And I believe that's what brings people back to the Sierra or Farm Trail year after year.
Great. Thanks so much, Nicole. And, you know, it's really interesting to have both you and Elizabeth speak at the same webinar, because very, very different approaches, right? And, you know, Nicole with Sierra or Farm Trail, you are with an organization whose mission it is to promote the farmers and ranchers and operators in your region. And Nicole, you are one of those operators. So of course you're going to have very different approaches, but that foundation of connecting and showing the authenticity is there. And I think that's really the strength of social media, right? I have a question for both of you. You can take turns answering, but you both spoke a lot about different social media platforms. And Nicole, you were talking about, you know, YouTube and over this really broad range of platforms. And I just would like for each of you to speak for, you know, a few moments just about navigating all the different platforms and, you know, strategizing, making choices, which to use, what to show, and what platforms, that kind of thing. So Nicole, why don't you start us off there? And then Elizabeth, I'd love to get your insight after Nicole speaks.
Well, Elizabeth is an Instagram guru, and you'll find there's a very different crowd and a very different vibe on Instagram than there is on Facebook. As you saw from some of the results of our campaign, we have a lot of over 55 customers that buy products from our farm trail. My husband always says when he's at the farmer's market, it's the people with the dad whose shirt is, the sweatshirt's tied around his neck, not the guy whose sweatshirt's around his waist, right? Like it's the older guy that's going to stop and buy the product. There's a lot of disposable income. These are people who have time on their hands. They're older in life and probably trying to stay healthy so they can live longer. And that's who we try to reach on the Facebook platform for the farm trail. We do Instagram as well. There's just not quite the emotional connection with the younger generation as there is with the moms and the grandmas and the aunties. That's who we work with. But I know Instagram brings a ton of value for the younger generation, and Elizabeth would be perfect to speak to that.
Are you with us still, Elizabeth? There you go, you're unmuted. We'd love to hear your insights.
Okay, I had to look back there and do it. Sorry, I'm so I'm not good at this whole Zoom thing. Okay, my video's on, I'm good?
Well, your video's not on, but we can hear your voice.
Oh, okay. How do I fix my video?
Oh, there you are. Hi.
Do I need to do something?
Nope, you're perfect.
Yay, okay. It works now? Okay. Yeah, this is another great question. I think Instagram is fantasy. So, I mean, I'm looking at like French chateaus you can buy for not a lot of money for California, you know, that's what I'm watching. And so it's a vibe where you can really sell the dream. You can sell the vision. I can say, you know, it's people who care again about the organic, the authentic process, this kind of thing. But there's a beauty factor on Instagram. I mean, again, not for every account, but it's part of it. Facebook to me is like the phone book. Those are the people who are like, do you have a sheep for sale? I want 3 sheep. I need a weed eater, this kind of thing. So on Instagram, I don't say I have 3 old ewes that are for sale for sheep. I don't say that on there. I go, oh, look at our beautiful lambs. That's Instagram. Facebook's like, I've got sheep for sale. And on Facebook too, like they have those specific local groups for livestock sales. I utilize those a ton too. And that it's an ad, you know, so the vibe on those things is super different. And our target audience is more like the 19 to 50, whatever that one is. Or maybe 45, and maybe even younger than that. I think our average person is like a 27-year-old woman or something like that. I was also just going to touch really quick on the Shopify thing. We use that as well. And I learned that from someone that I love their brand and their social media. And I met them through Renegade Craft in San Francisco. And her site looked so gorgeous that I couldn't believe that it was a Shopify thing. And so it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for people with no experience, but you can do it yourself. I did all of it myself. And it also offers local pickup with this whole COVID thing. We had tons of sales last year during COVID because we had that pickup option where people could shop online at our website, and then we could bag it all up and put it on the table porch, and people were driving out here just to have something to do and then stand out here and look at the animals and pick up their order. And that's something you could do whether you know, rice by the pound or whatever, however you sell it, to your cart. And you can put it someplace where they can snag it, or you could meet them in town and say, all these pickup orders are going to be available, you know, on Saturday, whatever, where the farmer's market is or something. There's so many options now. But that's a great way to build, you know, using social media also, because then you can put on Instagram and Facebook, you know, we have things for pickup. We can meet you here at this time, that kind of thing. Oh, and about the marketing thing, as far as different approaches. Yeah, because Nicole's a professional marketer. And I'm a mom who's just like doing my thing over here.
Well, it's a good point what you said about Facebook. Facebook has its own little event platform. And before COVID hit, it was kind of where you went to say, what's going on? What's going on this weekend? What events are happening? You can invite people to events. If you're having your tasting room open for the weekend, you can list that as an event in Facebook, and people will find it. So that's the other value of Facebook, is that it's sort of run by live events. And now that those are coming back, that's a good place to tell people you're going to be open.
Mm-hmm. Great point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I just want to quickly touch base off of the conversation about Shopify. So for those participants on the call, if you are a little bit wanting more information about selling your products online, we actually did a webinar a couple of weeks ago that was just about online sales platforms. And in partnership with the Community Alliance of Family Farmers, that actually has a tech hub that helps farmers in California figure out how to sell their products online and which platforms are best for them. So, you know, it might not be Shopify for you, it might be, you know, Square or something else. But if you want a little help navigating that, I'm going to put the link in the chat box. You can go back and watch the video about that. And I think we have about time for just one more question. And somebody did actually ask specifically about TikTok, speaking of different platforms. So have either of you ladies, experimented with using TikTok?
Elizabeth, you're the hipster.
Yeah, I'm technically a millennial, so okay, am I there? Are we good? Can you guys hear me again?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So okay, I'm technically a millennial, but I've got teenagers. Aiden's 19. So, and actually I have a friend who's my age who has an incredible, huge following on social media. She has a paint brand, and I've learned a lot from her and be able to ask a lot of questions. She's got an amazing TikTok situation going on. I do not have a lot of experience. I've done it a little bit. I've used it personally on my personal account, like showing my new refrigerators that I got, that's what is exciting to a mom. And I couldn't believe all the views and all the hits on it. Like every mom wants to see that you got Sub-Zeros for your birthday. I mean, it's a big deal, right? But yeah, TikTok's amazing. Utilize those kids, like find a neighbor kid. Can you help me use this? But the funniest thing, so some of young kids we know, they're in college in Portland. They got their grandma and their mom to do a little dance in the garden beds, like while they were weeding, where they're all doing a matching dance. And people just want to see that stuff. They want that silly content. And we definitely work hard at the silly content because you're entertaining people too. I mean, that's another aspect of this, that like what you said about the Kardashians, like people want to be entertained. And, like one time the cow, we had changed some of the gates in the back pasture, and the cow got out and jumped out and went around we have a huge brown Swiss cow. She came down the road and then was coming through the front yard. And, I was going, oh my gosh, my brand new plants, because I had put brand new things in, and my kids are all homeschoolers, right? And there's this perception of us that we're homeschool. Well, my eldest son was like, fa, as the cow's running through. Well, people thought that was hilarious. They want to see that real stuff and those unexpected silly moments where, yeah, we're homeschoolers, but yeah, my 19-year-old is also like swearing in the video as the cow's running through the front yard. And again, that's what the power of social media, that you can show that to people and they can see it because they can't believe you have a cow or that it's running through your yard. And I got so many messages of people going, did you get her back in? What did you do? How did you get the cow back in? So then I put another video and told people, like, she knew where she was going. She's a good girl. She went right back to the pasture fence or the gate where she knew would let her in. So that's that power of engagement. And or like with the fire, what Nicole was talking about, we went down to do
well, Elizabeth, we can't hear you right now. Oh, are you back? But we actually are about at time. And so before we leave, first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to Nicole and Elizabeth for your time. Ooh. And then also in your chat, Elizabeth, you're in and out, Elizabeth. We can't really hear you right now. But in the chat, there is a link to a brief evaluation of this webinar. So please take a moment. It's just a couple of questions. If you wouldn't mind letting us know how this webinar was for you. And also I want to remind you that our final webinar in this series is next Monday, same time, 3 p.m. And it is about community collaborations, farm trails, tourism partners, and more. It's a discussion of how California farmers and ranchers work together to promote their businesses. So we got a little hint into that today with Nicole speaking about Sierra Aurora Farm Trail. And so next week's webinar is going to be pretty exclusively about how you can join forces and promote together. So thanks again. We've lost Elizabeth, real life on the farm, took her away, but thank you so much, Nicole. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, and you can definitely email me or call me at info@sierraoro.org if you have any questions, or if I can help you with co-op marketing or TikTok's not my thing, but anything else, yes. My kids love TikTok. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much, everyone, for participating. Have a great day. And I was just noticing someone saying the evaluation link wasn't working. So I am just going to make sure that I'm going to repost that in there before we end to make sure that I get your feedback. So just a moment. Okay. It's all about figuring out technology today, right? And here it is. Sorry for that. And thank you for clicking on it. I appreciate that. And I'm also going to send this out in an email to everybody who was on the call. And the recording of this webinar will also be posted on our website. So if you missed something and you want to go back and hear it, or if you want to share this with friends or other people who you think might find this useful, please feel free to do so. Okay, thanks so much, everyone. Goodbye.